Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Let's go ahead and talk about this. So there was a post on Reddit that has since been deleted, ladies and gentlemen, of supposedly specs for the PS5 and Xbox Scarlett. I guess you guys can kind of see why I don't necessarily focus hard on specifications in my videos, because there's always a new leak supposedly every single week. But this one right here is pretty funny and it's pretty telling, especially when it comes to this particular leak. Now, if we want to do a little recapping, right, let's go back to yesterday. All right, let's talk about the PS5's leak specifications. Now, the leak specifications go towards a new project, or a new code name, which is called Gonzalo. Gonzalo was going to be, or is, sorry, a new Zen 2 chip with Navi GPU. Okay, it's gonna be, that's what it is, basically an APU. It's both of those. Okay, that's what the whole new chip was that was leaked for the PlayStation 5 yesterday, really a few days, or really back in the 17th, but I'm a little late, but you get what I'm saying. That's what it was. Okay, and with this information right here, now how did they get this information? It's very simple. They broke down the actual product number, and they got these results for this particular CPU or APU. All right, now going into this information, what's funny about it is that most of the key stuff that is listed for the Gonzalo, number one, is missing. Number two, there is no detail whatsoever in a few things, and it's lacking a few things. But one of the things that clearly gives this away as being fake, and most likely just somebody just posting for the sake of getting a rise out of people in this community, is the fact that they actually have the pricing of these consoles. Now, one thing we got to get out the way here: the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Scarlett systems are not made yet. They're still in production. They're still researching. They're still putting stuff together. Most of the stuff that we're talking about is speculation that's going around, whether it be leaked from insiders or people who actually worked heavily in the industry with Sony or Microsoft. So for people actually saying that this is actually true and running with some of these specifications, which we're about to get into right now, is definitely telling. Now, according to a reliable source, shout out to Brad Sams, he actually is the one who broke the information for the Anaconda, and I do agree with him on a few points on this for sure, and we're going to get into that. Number one, they got the name wrong with one particular model of the Xbox Scarlett. Let's put it on the screen right in front of you. What do you guys see? You said it says next Xbox streaming console, right? And then it says Lockhart. As you clearly can see, it has a price point of $250. How does this individual even come close to the price point when nothing has been finalized, nothing has been even stated by Microsoft, and everybody's still speculating for this console? How did they get this? It's not right. It's not true at all. Okay, and another dead giveaway about this is the fact that the name is wrong. First of all, Lockhart was for the Xbox One S type of console that was going to be the Anaconda. Remember, it was going to be the cheaper option, the Xbox One S version, right? It's going to be like that for the Anaconda. Maverick is the streaming only console, which will act like a Roku box. That's the one. See, this person clearly didn't get that information right and got that wrong. Now, as far as the CPU and GPU, well, let's talk about it. The CPU, it says a custom 8-core, 16-thread Zen 2 CPU. I think we all can agree that's more likely true, since that's the information that mostly hits the internet as we speak. When you go to most of these rumors and speculations, basically it's either Zen 2 or you hear something about Navi, right? Those are the main things you hear. And speaking of Navi, let's get into GPU. For the streaming only Xbox, you will have a Navi 4 teraflop GPU. Okay, for the Xbox Anaconda, you will have a Navi 12 teraflop GPU. Again, looking at that particular gap right there, that's a little too, I don't know, substantial. I don't think that makes sense at all, that they will cut it that much at all. So that's really speculation. That's somebody really throwing out numbers. I don't believe that. And another thing about that is pretty interesting is the RAM. For the streaming only Xbox, it will have 12 gigabytes of GDDR6 RAM, and the Xbox Anaconda will have 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 RAM. Again, it's like, really, we're throwing numbers out here. We're really throwing numbers out here. If it has 16 to 12, again, 12 seemed more likely for the Anaconda than 16, but whatever. Again, that's speculation, of course. One thing that was a good giveaway, and it was actually confirmed by, obviously, Brad, so shout out to Brad, was the fact that it will be using a NVMe SSD, okay? Now, that right there stands for non-volatile memory, okay? And those basically the main thing that's synonymous with that style of memory is things that I call M2 drives. M2 drives are they look like flash drives, but they're actual memory, and they go into your actual your motherboard on PC, and you just screw it down with one screw, and then bam, it's like the easiest installed SSD out there on the planet, really. And I have one in my rig, but that's what that is. If that's, you know, he claims that's true, so odds are I'm gonna give them that for sure. If they are going with those type of SSDs for the next gen consoles, then it's definitely going to be interesting when we get into the territory of the consumer actually changing those particular terabytes or changing those drives out. But something tells me Microsoft might just cop out with another idea with that and just sell, like, they'll allow you to connect external drives to your actual console, which seems more than likely Microsoft would do for it. Another thing that's on here, as you guys clearly can see, is ray tracing. Now, what's so funny about ray tracing, people are really jumping on this like crazy. Now, there was a reason why I showed you guys in that video when we were talking about ray tracing for both PS5 and Xbox. It's because it doesn't, first of all, a lot of you guys are really going into this. Like, people really think they're going to get these crazy particle effects like you guys see with the 2080 Ti cards. You're not going to get any of that with like you do with the 2080 and 2070 cards. That's not even on the table. What you will get is a thing called mirror reflections. And the downside about ray tracing is the fact that it does GIMP performance, which a lot of these kids do not know. And they're running with that saying, well, we got ray tracing. Yes, you have ray tracing. But again, it's not even, that's not even AMD's main thing. Like, they haven't even worked the kinks out yet. I wouldn't be jumping around with that at all. Microsoft AI, again, does that really have to be in the specifications at all? That doesn't make sense at all to me, you know? But whatever, Microsoft AI is on the actual spreadsheet. Another giveaway for me that this is not right, but okay. Microsoft AI, they announced that at E3 last year. We know for a fact, if you do actual research, you would know for a fact that this is most likely going to be used with the actual streaming console, which is the Xbox Maverick, and they're going to use the Azure servers to help basically keep ultra low frequency tasks. You know what I'm saying? They're going to run ultra low frequency tasks to keep latency low with a new particular CPU. If I remember correctly, that CPU is Picasso, and the Picasso APU was going to be used for ultra low latency tasks. So that's kind of been on Microsoft's mind for this for the Maverick. Basically, they want you to have ultra low latency tasks, right? They want to like have stuff like walking, stuff like crouching, stuff like that, right? And of course the AI, and they'll use your actual internet to load the static image into the actual game. That's what they're going to do with the Maverick, and they're going to use that obviously in combination with the Azure server. So that's what they're doing, and that's another thing that I forgot about too. But that was the other one, which was the Picasso, and that was strictly going to be for the mobile. Or not the mobile, but it's a mobile, obviously, APU, but it was going to be strictly used for the actual streaming Xbox. So that's what that's about. Now, going into the console again, well, again, this is, again, fueling the war that never ends. When you go into the actual console, the Xbox Scarlett, or I'm sorry, the Anaconda, it says it's going to be $500. Again, how does this individual get $500, and how does he know it's $500? He doesn't. This is somebody throwing out numbers. If you think about it, that's literally just looking at the PS4 this generation and literally doing the exact same thing what you see with the price point of those and throwing it on there. It really is. Now, this is where we get interesting. So we get interesting. And the dude's not even confident in what he's saying too, by the way, in this post. But he deleted this post. But we're going to get into that. Let's get into the PlayStation 5. Notice the PlayStation 5, right? Not much listed for PS5, but, you know, we're going to get into that. For the PlayStation 5, it's going to be $400, okay? It's going to use a custom 8-core, obviously 16 threads Zen 2 CPU, which again, more than likely will be for all, for both consoles. The GPU will be a Navi 8 teraflop GPU, and it will have 16 gigabytes of GDDR6, and it will use a standard 2.5-inch terabyte drive. That's pretty much it. Now, notice he doesn't go into detail at all about anything else. It's just thrown out there. This kind of falls in line with an old article I read a while back about this particular one, where they talk strictly about this CPU, but they didn't have a name for the CPU at the time. But I guess that's what we're going to go for. Obviously, memory, they're going with strictly, you know, regular GDDR6. They're not going with the NV. They're not going with non-volatile memory, according to this. But again, how does he know this? It's not confirmed whatsoever. But let's say this is confirmed, right? Let's humor the idea, since a lot of people are humoring it. A lot of people are saying people are legit, like, in damage control mode. They're in freak out mode over this. Well, let's definitely break it down. Let's go over it. Yes, if this was true, right? If these specifications were legit true, then it kind of would be the same song and dance that we already kind of known. Microsoft did claim that they were going, or I'm sorry, not even Microsoft. Reports claimed that Microsoft's new Xbox was going to probably be more powerful than the PlayStation 5, because Microsoft was going for a more premium price one. Plus, they will have options to, you know, obviously fit your budget, so to speak, which is where Lockhart plays into effect. Now, they're going with this particular situation, and this is how I was going to go. Then, I mean, what exactly do y'all want me to say? I mean, it's going to go back to the same argument that we're already having now, is it not? Remember, the Xbox, what is the most powerful console right now in the market, ladies and gentlemen? The Xbox One X. The Xbox One X is more capable than the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 and the Pro are inferior to the Xbox One X in terms of hardware specifications. Unfortunately, even with the hardware specifications and the, you know, the improvements and whatnot, right, the small improvements that they give to games, and of course 4K, right, which is another thing that the Xbox One S can do, even with that, there's one thing that's clearly lacking, and that is the software. They're lacking in the software department, and this is where Microsoft has a lot of questions on. Sure, Microsoft can definitely shock all of us at, you know, E3 this year, since the pressure is on them, especially since they're the only one that are going to be there physically at E3. You might as well call Microsoft's E3 the Xbox Conference of the Year or something like that, right? But one thing is for certain, they cannot treat E3 this year as like they do like inside Xbox. They cannot do that. They have to legit answer some questions. If they are going to show specifications, which could more than likely be, since Sony's looking for new ways to, you know, give information to you, and they're probably going to show out the PS5 in their own little event as well, or I'm sorry, specifications as well, then yeah, it makes sense for them to do that. And they are going to show specifications for the new Scarlett. Then another thing needs to be said. What else do you have in terms of software? Odds are, ladies and gentlemen, Halo Infinite, and I remember I said that this game could come out in 2019. I agree with Randall Thor, I agree with Mashlin, I agree with pretty much every other Xbox channel that I have talked to on this subject. I don't believe this is coming out in 2019. I do believe that Microsoft is probably going to hang on to Halo Infinite and treat that the same way I believe Sony will treat Ghost of Tsushima. Because right now, I don't think Ghost of Tsushima was going to be a 2019 release date. I don't think Ghost of Tsushima is going to be the game that they're going to end the generation with. I think they're going to play with the trend that they did with last gen, where they ended with a brand spanking new IP. And I guess they'll just leave it up to fate if it does well or not. That's how they did with The Last of Us. The Last of Us, it had some good hype behind it at first. Remember, when people saw The Last of Us, they was like, okay, that looks really, really good. I'm looking forward to it. But even Naughty Dog was shocked at how well The Last of Us sold. You know what I'm saying? And that was a new IP. That was their first time going for horror and a suspense type of game. So that's where I definitely believe that they will go down that route for. They're going to go with Ghost of Tsushima, which makes more sense. But again, that's all speculation, obviously. And, you know, Microsoft might do the same thing as well with Halo. They'll use that for both platforms to launch with the Scarlett and have that be the last hoorah for the Xbox One X as they go straight into next generation. But right now, though, that's pretty much it. There is definitely a lot of talks, and there are a lot of specifications going around, and there's definitely a lot of discussions going around about this. But one thing is for certain, though, people just, I don't know, it's like some people just don't listen. They don't look at the track record, or hell, they don't even go back and look look at the actual articles, a lot of people immediately just watch videos, right? And then they'll claim that, you know, you're saying this out of spite or blah, 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 when the reality is you have articles. Everything that I've covered on the channel has an article behind it, ladies and gentlemen. And with those articles, obviously it's going to come with something else, you know what I'm saying? Numerous leaks, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? It's all out there. But this is one of those rumors, unfortunately, that I do not believe whatsoever. And there's no way we're even close to price for these new consoles, and I can say that with confidence. I don't believe Sony's got the price down pat for the PS5, just like I don't believe Microsoft has any price pack for the Xbox Anaconda or systems, okay? I don't think that's even close. We're not there. So I guess you can take it as you will. This is going to be one of those things we take with a massive grain of salt as we move on. But I mean, you know, as you already know, as the weeks progress, there's going to be more and more leaks, and I'll definitely be talking with you guys about those as we get those. But for this one, yeah, I think we need to chill on this one, because a lot of people really are going with this thinking, oh my God, we got real-time ray tracing. It's like, no, you do not have real-time ray tracing on a console. And I'm not saying it's not possible. You see, anything's possible. Like I said before in the past, anything is possible with any piece of hardware. Hardware, at the end of the day, like, the limitations of a hardware comes down to the price. And like I said before, if you want real-time ray tracing, X amount of things on a console, then you're gonna have to dish out the money to substantiate those type of features and, you know, add-ons to a console. Just saying. So there you go. All right. So that unfortunately brings us to the end of the video, and yeah, I'll definitely see you guys back here with another one. All right. So thank you guys again for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's video, I appreciate you hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys on my next one, which will definitely be uploaded a little later on. All right, y'all be blessed, y'all be easy. Ryan Professional is out. Peace.